Hello everyone, welcome back to Just Reading the Bible. Today we are reading chapter 5 in Proverbs. So let's get started. More Proverbs of Solomon. These are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of... Oh man, I should have practiced this word. Let me get my phone here. Let me see if I can... So I got this Bible pronunciation app, which is helpful. Hezekiah. Okay, so these are the Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. It is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings is to search things out. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and the smith has material for a vessel. Take away the wicked from the presence of the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not put yourself forward in the king's presence, or stand in the place of the great, for it is to be told, "Come up here," then to be put lower in the presence of a noble. What your eyes have seen, do not hastily bring into court, for what will you do in the end, when your neighbors put you to shame? Argue your case with your neighbor himself. Do not reveal another secret, lest he who hears you bring shame upon you, and your ill repute have no end. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver, like a gold ring or an ornament of gold, is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift he does not give. With patience a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue will break bone. If you have found honey, eat only enough for you, lest you have your fill of it and vomit it. Let your foot be seldom in your neighbor's house, lest he have his fill of you and hate you. A man who bears false witness against his neighbor is like a war club, or a sword, or a sharp arrow. Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, and like vinegar on soda. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, and a backbiting tongue angry looks. It is better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. Like cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. Like a muddied spring or polluted fountain is a righteous man who gives way before the wicked. It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Alright, so that's chapter 25. So I have written down verse 21 and 28, but also 25 is kind of spoke to me as I read. So let's go over verse 21. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. So that spoke to me because, as people, so I know Jewish and Christians around the world are being persecuted by other people, and to me this spoke to me where, yes, those other people seem to be our enemies, but we should also know that they are God's people too, and that they are, being lied to and being deceived, and that we should still feed them and give them water and show them how God gave us love and joy. And so by doing that, we are sharing the Lord with them. So, and maybe that's maybe it could be your neighbor, because it spoke a lot about neighbor in this chapter. So maybe your neighbor, you don't get along, but maybe you notice some things where they're struggling. So by extending a helping hand, and maybe they need a little bit of food to help out. So give them, share your food, give them water, and by doing so, you're also sharing the Lord with them. 25. Like cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. So that to me is like, for me, it's referencing about the New Testament. To me, I see a kind of a connection to the New Testament, where Jesus gave the Great Commission to the disciples and Apostle Paul to go and spread the good news. So they're coming. So when they're traveling, they're coming from a far away, a far country, and just spreading that good news, spreading the gospel. So it just clicked. That's where my mind went on verse 25, where good news from a far country, and I'm like, oh man, that's what the disciples and Apostle Paul was doing, and there's still people doing. That's where the people that go on overseas missions or ministry are missionaries. So the missionaries, they're doing it too. So, but yeah, it's just that's what came to mind when I read verse 25, and then verse 28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. So, I know God is teaching me self-control. I'm still, there's still distractions, but I eliminated some of that distraction. And then with food, like I I think one video that's already posted, I said I was having, I had trouble with sunflower seeds. I no longer have that trouble. I just put that away. I threw it away, and now I'm gaining self-control over that desire to just constantly eat sunflower seeds. And then I mentioned that I'm still eating Jolly Ranchers. But one day, I was working, and I didn't have a Jolly Rancher. And the next morning, I was going to Walmart, and I know I was running low on Jolly Ranchers. And I told myself, you didn't have any Jolly Ranchers yesterday. You do not need any Jolly Ranchers today and going forward. Do not buy any Jolly Ranchers. And that's what I did. I did not buy any Jolly Ranchers at Walmart. And I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just, that's me learning self-control. And then I know another aspect is, and the reason why I was going to Walmart, I got my first paycheck. And so another self-control is to not spend that money that God blessed me, which is His money, on things that I don't need. So I'm working on that. So yeah. So, and then without that self-control of food, so if I didn't recognize that the sunflower seeds is making me I'm just constantly eating sunflower seeds, and I'm just having one Jolly Rancher after another, that's not self-control. And so, first thing, recognize it, and God's going to help you recognize it. And once you recognize it, He's going to lead you away, and that's what He's been doing with me. So that's what I wrote when I read that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to discuss that verse. So what verse in chapter 5 spoke to you? Let me know in the comments. And I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and share this video. And keep on reading, my friends. Bye.